All right, girls, I'm going to apologize right now. I am slowly losing my voice today. I have done too much video making and too much talking, but I am going to, this is the last video I'm doing, and I'm going to help you guys out, and then we'll be done. So let me start with this problem. This was one of the pre-algebra problems. This is everybody who sent in problems. This is, I had intended to do this in class, but my camera battery died. And so I did work some of these in class, but we didn't get to all of them. I didn't get to do all of them on the video. So I'm doing them now, special video for those of you who sent me a question that you need me to do. So let's start with pre-algebra. So I have 1 3/4 over 2/3 is equal to 5 1/4 over x. All right, first things first, turn that into a fraction. Second thing, get rid of the mixed numbers. 1 times 4 is 4, plus 3 is 7 over 4. 7 over 4 over 2 over 3 is equal to 5 times 4 is 20 plus 1. So 21 over 4 over x over 1. Cross multiply. Okay, I'm going to do that right here. So I have 7 over 4 times x over 1 equals 2 over 3 times 21 over 4. Okay? 7x over 4 equals 42 over 12. Now we have single fractions. Cross multiply again. 7x times 12 is 84x. That equals 4 times 42 is 168. When we divide both sides by 84 to get x by itself, we get 2. And that is the answer. All you have to do is type in the number 2. You don't have to type x equals just the number 2 into the system, okay? That's how we solve this problem. All right, moving on. That's the only pre-algebra problem I had, so if you are a pre-algebra student, you don't have to watch the rest of the video, but if you do, you might learn something. All right, so this one, write 5 and negative 230 degrees in rectangular coordinates. So first we have to create our Cartesian coordinate system. And then we have to look at this degree of angle here. It's negative. So instead of measuring from here around, we're going to measure from here and go the other way, right? We're going to go clockwise instead of our normal counterclockwise. So if this is 90, this is 180, then this would be 270. So 270, back it up to 230. That's going to be 40 degrees. All right, so there's our line. So 230 minus 180, what did I say that was? All right, that's 50. So this is 40. This is 50. This is the one we care about because this is the one that drops down to the x-axis. So this is 50 degrees right here. It doesn't matter that it's negative. That's over. The only thing we cared about it being negative was which direction to start counting in. That's all it did for us. Now all we care about is that this is a 50-degree angle right here. All right. So, and we know this is the hypotenuse length. All right. So now all we need to do is sine of 50 is equal to, all right, and sine is so ka, right? SOHCAHTOA, opposite over hypotenuse. So the opposite is going to be up, and the adjacent is going to be r, and it's going to be negative r because it's to the left of the y-axis. So the sine of 50, the opposite angle, or the opposite side from 50 is u, so it's u, and the hypotenuse is 5. So we multiply everything by 5. We get 5 times the sine of 50 is equal to u. Okay? So now let's find the cosine, or let's find the r measurement. So we do the same thing. We say the cosine of 50 is equal to negative r over 5. We multiply both sides by 5 and we get the same thing. We get 5 times the cosine of 50 is equal to negative r. Now we just have to do the calculator part. So we get 50 sine times 5 equals 3.83. I'm going to stop it right there. So 3.83 u. All right, so now let's do this one. Clear. 50 cosine times 5, and I'm going to say 3.21. I'm going to stop it right there. So 3.21, and that's a negative r, because it's negative r. All right, so now I can put those rectangular coordinates together, and it's going to be negative 3.21 r plus 3.83 u. Now, I'm going to go ahead and tell you that when you type this in, it may not be exactly 100% correct. It's okay if it's not, because these are, what's the word I'm looking for? These are rounded decimals. So these are not equal, they're approximately equal. So you might get 3.24, and this might be 3.8. You might stop at the 3.8 instead of the 3.83. So if it's close, if it's within a few decimal points, I'm going to mark it correct, even if the system initially marks it wrong. So I'm always going to look at that. You're never going to expect to get exactly the right answer or the same answer. And if you do, usually it's just luck. You just happened to round it the same way the book did, or the same way the person who worked it did. So don't get stressed out if you don't get it exactly right. And if you know the math is solid, then just type it in and walk away, or go on to the next problem, as the case may be. And then if there is a huge issue with your question or with your answer, I'll let you know, hey, this was way off. Something happened. If you're close, then I'm just going to mark it right and we're going to move on. All right, just do your best to understand the math and give me your best answer. That's all I'm trying to say, in a roundabout, really rambling, kind of long-winded sort of way. All right, this is one where we see that we need to find a common denominator. And one of the ways we do that is by understanding the parts that we have in the fraction. And in this fraction, what I see here is something that I can factor. So I'm going to write this again. Minus x plus 3 minus 2x. And I'm going to factor this right here. So this is going to be x plus 3, because it's a perfect square, x minus 3. All right, it is what we call the difference of squares. So what that means is when we multiply, we'll have a positive 3x and a negative 3x, and those middle terms will go away, and we'll be left with an x squared minus 9 whenever we distribute and do all of that. In the meantime, what we see is that we have a, sorry, I got something in my eye. We have a negative x plus 3. Well, if we just change the signs on that, it'll be x minus 3, right? Which would match this right here, this factor. So what we're going to do is we're just going to multiply the top and the bottom of this fraction by negative 1, and that's going to change it to 7 over x minus 3 minus 2x over x plus 3 times x minus 3. Now we can find a common denominator. All we need to do is multiply this fraction by this factor, and then we'll have a common denominator. So let's do that. So we have 7 times x plus 3 minus 2x. And when we put these back together, it goes back to being x squared minus 9. So I'm just going to put it back together. I'm just going to distribute it and leave it like it is, because we would just have written this under here and then had to change it. So now I'm going to distribute it, and it's just less writing if I go ahead and do it like this. So now I'm going to fix this. I'm just going to do it over here to the side. So it's going to be 7x plus 3. Nope. I didn't distribute, did I? 7x plus 21 minus 2x. So when I combine these, I get 5x, because 7x minus 2x is 5x, plus 21 over x squared minus 9. That is the answer. Okay? All right, I hope that clears up the problem. And probably what 3 for a loop is this right here, this x squared minus 9. It just needed to be factored, that's all. All right, let's look at this problem. This is one of those, I'm going to move it up here where we can see it. This is one of those hydrogen experiment problems. So what I did on here was I went ahead and I gave you the points for the line, because it's kind of a pain in the butt. Let me move this over just a little bit more. My dog is barking like a nut. I can hear him out there. He thinks he's protecting me from the UPS man or something. So they gave us our formula. Here's our formula. H equals the slope of C plus B, right? So it's pretty straightforward. We have our line. We could actually even draw our line if we wanted to. 106 and 130. So 106 and 130. Here's 1 point. And then 180. And this is 80 right down here. So this is our other point. So we'd have a line just like that if we drew it, or pretty close, right? We don't even need to draw it though, because they gave us our points to use. So all we need to do, we need to find where this is going to cross the y-axis. And that's going to be pretty easy. In just a moment, we're going to figure that out. But first, we're going to do the slope. And the slope is the change in y over the change in x. So our y points are, let's see, we have 130 minus, and then we have 106 is its pair. And then we have 80 is the y, and then minus 100 is its x value. So our slope is going to be 130 minus 80 is 50, over 106 minus 100 is 6. That reduces to 25 over 3. Yeah, 25 over 3. So we can replace the slope with 25 over 3 for now, just to remember what it is. All right, I'm going to erase this bit just so we have some room. And then I'm going to find the point at which it crosses the y-axis. And the place at which it crosses the y-axis is the place where x is going to be 0. But all I need to do that is I need to find a point. So let me find a point here. Let me put in, the h is the y. So the h is the y. So let's see. We have, let's use this point. This will be better. So if h is the y, that's 80 equals 25 over 3 times 100 plus b. So that's going to be 80 is equal to 2500 divided by 3 plus b. So that's going to be, oh goodness, let me get my calculator. 2500 divided by 3 is 8333333. So 833 plus b. So now I'm going to subtract, say minus 833 from both sides. So that's going to be, this is going to cancel. 80 minus 833 is 753. So 753 is equal to B, and that's a negative 753. So let's, that's going to be H is equal to minus 753. And what goes here, we don't like to use these fractions on these types of charts, so all I'm going to do is I'm going to just take 25 and divide it by 3, and I get 8.33. That's the number I'm going to use, 8.33. See, so this would be the answer. All right, that's all you got to do. Figure out your slope, change in y over change in x, then put that in, then sub in a point to solve for b. Once you solve for b, then you put that in over here for b, and then you just put your slope in. Only I just converted the slope to a decimal. That's all I did different. All right. And those are all the problems that were requested for today's study group. So I hope you guys have a good night, and I will, excuse me, I got a little heartburn there. I will see you guys tomorrow. It is 8 o'clock, and Miss Tracy is tired, and I'm fixing to go to bed. Good night, y'all.